everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we are at Clash Endurance Miami. Two-time Olympian Ashleigh Gentle joins us. Ashleigh, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Happy to be here, and I'm excited to get racing on Friday.
So fun, and we've only chatted once before, so your background, when did you get into this crazy triathlon stuff?
I was about 14 when I did my first triathlon, 14, 15 years old. I kind of came from a team sports background, really, like touch football and netball growing up.
Yeah, netball, yeah.
So it's a bit random, I guess, but I tried a lot of sports when I was younger and really enjoyed running. So I guess moved over to triathlon when I started running with a triathlon group. And
Yes.
I guess I got a little jealous of everyone swimming and cycling. So I guess I decided to take up those two sports. Yeah, when I was about 14, and then quickly did my first triathlon not long after.
And you had success right away?
I guess I had somewhat of a success straight away in a sense that I don't remember the race so much, but I remember I progressed to the next level. It must have been a selection race for regionals or districts or something, and that first year I made it right to nationals and did pretty well there. So I guess the success came pretty quickly as a pretty young athlete, and I've never stopped since then.
And so at that point, when you're having success, then it's like, okay, wait, when Olympics are coming up, what was the first Olympics you were thinking about?
I guess I was involved in 2012 in a sense that I was a training partner to some athletes, particularly Emma Moffat, who went there and was training and performing really well until unfortunately she crashed. But, you know, being part of that experience and seeing her and being so professional, and, you know, she was training amazingly, and I got to be there with all the athletes before they actually headed off to London and watch.
Fun.
So, yeah, it was a really great experience and really, I guess, opened my eyes up to what that looked like. But, yeah, those early days I wasn't really thinking about it too much. It was just about making those progressions from, I guess, junior worlds to then senior racing and then just trying to take it as it came.
So as an ITU athlete, 77 starts, and might be old, 30 podiums, 10 wins, and at that point you were ranked 4th in ITU. That's probably a few years ago. Training with someone like an Emma Moffat, when you're training with someone who's going to the Olympics, and I'm sure there were days where you were stronger, right? Or days that you felt like, you know what, if she's going to the Olympics, I potentially could go too.
Well, I guess my relationship with Emma started from when I was really young. I guess because I had a bit of a running background and that was my strength. So I definitely wasn't a helpful swimmer or biker, or sometimes cycling with her when I was really young. But I found that, or my coaches found that I could help push her on the run.
On the run, yes.
So that's how I guess it kind of started. I would just, we weren't coached by the same person, but I would come in and do some run sessions with her because I guess she enjoyed my company and as a run partner as well. So obviously I was pretty thankful that I could join those sessions because I learned a lot, and it ended up progressing that we ended up being coached by the same person. So we were able to then, swim, bike and run together. And, obviously I've looked up to a lot of amazing Australian athletes when I was a younger athlete. So I guess I saw a lot of what they did and I saw how they operated, and it was amazing to be a part of that and just be a sponge and try and learn as much as I could.
And so then after 2012, did it become, the 2016 become the focus, and like, okay, now it's sort of my turn to maybe go to Rio?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't remember really thinking about it too much straight after London, but thankfully my results kind of spoke for themselves.
Exactly.
I started to, I think before London I'd had a couple of World Triathlon Series podiums, some silver medals. And then in 2016, I think I remember getting a couple of silver medals in a few of the World Series races before Rio Olympics. So I guess my selection was quite late, but I had shown that I was in form and coming into form performing at those World Series races. So once I finally got the call up and selection, I guess that was probably the only time where I was like, okay, this is happening.
Real. This is happening.
Yeah.
What was the Rio experience like for you?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. Both my Olympic experiences haven't been what I've wanted them to.
Yeah.
It was, Rio was, I guess I was all over the place. I had trouble with my baggage and my bike breaking and just trying to keep it all together mentally.
Yeah.
While also trying to experience my first Olympic Games
Yeah.
and keep it together as a first timer. But, you know, at the end of the day, I can look back, and even though, I was well off what I was capable of in the performance, you know, I guess I can be proud of being a 2-time Olympian. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How many people go to the Olympics? I mean, it's always interesting when I chat to people who, you know, they've had great careers, but they didn't quite have that Olympics. And that always seems to bug them. I'm like, you were a 2-time Olympian. Nobody, you know, like, if you're a medalist, great. But if you're not a medalist and you had that experience of going to the Olympics, very few people on this planet have had that had that experience. That's the biggest stage there is.
Yeah, and I guess the reality is that a lot more people go away from the Olympics disappointed than the people that are happy.
Absolutely.
And that's the reality of it. It's once every 4 years, once every 5 if there's a pandemic. So, it is tough, but you know, I've achieved a lot of things that I'm proud of in short course racing, and I've overcome some hardships, which I guess I can be proud of too. And those Olympic experiences are part of that journey, and they'll be with me forever.
Absolutely. And so Tokyo, same type of thing. And the hard part about Tokyo, no fans, right? And you had some fans at the triathlon because it was outdoors, but not being able to really go to the other venues and getting that Olympic experience, that's tough.
Yeah, I guess I'm probably thankful for the couple of Commonwealth Games that I've been to, because one was at home in 2018, and I've had a few times, and even the grand final in 2018, where I performed really well, that was in front of a home crowd. So I think that even though I was kind of sad about Tokyo, and it was just worse, you know, a lot of people went through worse things during the pandemic. So I think we could handle not having crowds. It was a very small part of that whole thing. So I've also been very thankful to have those experiences where I've been able to race at home at big races, or, you know, have the Commonwealth Games where I've stayed for 2 weeks and cheered on my fellow athletes and really just absorbed the whole experience. So I'm pretty grateful for those times.
So wait, was it the Gold Coast race with the sprint finish?
Yeah, with Vicky.
Vicky Holland, you won by 2 seconds?
Yeah.
That's one of those career moments.
Yeah, it's definitely my biggest
home turf
career highlight. Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. I guess I didn't have much pressure. I'd raced on and off a bit that year, and I think I was ranked 9th in the world going into that race. So with the point system in World Series racing, I had no possibility of being the world champion.
Right.
My points were just too low, but I did have a chance to be,
to win the grand final.
To win the grand final. So I guess that's what, kept me in the game mentally. And it was definitely a really good day, and having, my friends and family there to watch.
It's the coolest.
It was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, really unbelievable. So were you able to do much racing at all during this last couple of years, or it's been because you guys been isolated, right? You really couldn't do much there.
Yeah, it's been, not much racing at all. Obviously, the worldwide lockdown in 2020, and then, we decided to stay home. Australians, I guess, were basically told not to travel. And even in 2021, I decided to prep for the Olympics at home, because we still had very strict hotel quarantine for 2 weeks coming back from overseas. So, if you were to go overseas, you'd have to commit to living there, I guess, until the games. You couldn't really come home. You just miss too much training. So unfortunately, a lot of Australians missed a lot of racing unless, they committed to an environment overseas, which some of them did. But I guess I wish I could have done more races, and, in hindsight, I'm like, maybe I could have done this or that. But in the reality, the rules and everything was changing so rapidly. Yeah. So I think that I made the best decisions with the information that I had at that time. So 2022 is a clean slate. It got off to a bit of a rough start, I guess, for many people around the world. So, I'm just happy and grateful to be here and to be racing on Friday, because I feel like it's been a long time coming to like since I could be at a international race and be excited to race again.
Well, and then you guys were coming over for the couples championship, and Josh, he wasn't able to come into the country.
Yeah.
So you've been here by yourself.
Yeah, it's been quite the trip so far. But everyone at the couples champs were super welcoming, even though I was there by myself. And I was still able to do a 5K run.
Oh, there you go.
With
The
Gwen
relay.
and a charity relay. So
nice.
they donated a lot of money to charity that weekend too. So
Sweet.
it was great to be part of, even though I was very jealous watching. I definitely wish that Josh and I could have had a chance to.
You would have gone for it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely have a chance to try and, be competitive in that race. But Non and Aaron did amazing and, drove from Tampa to Miami a couple of days ago and, just racking up some life experiences already.
Good for you. And so will this be your first longer distance race?
No, I've done a couple in 2019 at the end of that year. I did Xiamen in China.
Okay.
So I was trying to qualify for 70.3 Worlds,
right.
Which I did. I got that spot. But then obviously the next year the world shut down. So
you couldn't do it.
I think that was going to be in Taupo in New Zealand.
Yes, it was.
So pretty convenient for us Aussies. But unfortunately, that obviously didn't happen. That's actually happening next year. It's been delayed by about 3 years. But and then I've also done one during COVID in, I think it was 2020 or 2021. I can't even remember now. Yeah, 2020, and I was just bored, so I just did one. So I definitely feel like this year is going to be a lot more exciting for me, because I feel like I'm going to be, especially as the season goes, I'm going to be a lot more prepared for the half distance. I'm not just going to do it because I'm bored. I'm going to do it because I'm there to compete, and I'm there to learn and experience racing against the best girls in the world. So I'm excited for that.
Anytime I see somebody come from ITU and WTS, I just, my gut tells me they're going to do great. Just because, especially on a course like this, where you need to be a great swimmer to be up at front, and you need to be a good bike handler because of the wind, and you're starting in the middle of the day. It'll be hot, it'll be windy, which, you'll be on the road course, a lot of turns, which you're used to from WTS racing. And obviously you're a great runner. So this is a good, even though it's early in the season, this is a good opportunity for you.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I think for this year, for me, it's all about experience.
Yes.
So I want to be able to do courses like this, and then I want to go and do some hilly races and flat races and half distance, and this is a cool distance for me too, because obviously it's early season, everyone's at different points I guess in their prep, but it's a perfect in between Olympic distance and half. So for me, it's a perfect entry into the year. It's not just starting with the half distance, because I've obviously been prepping for couples champs, which was sprint. So I'm definitely excited for this distance. And 3 o'clock this afternoon, I'm going to go test the course. So I'm excited to see how it feels and see how it feels on the TT bike.
Yeah, have you spent a lot of time on the TT bike?
So definitely this year, for the last couple of months, I've been trying to get used to it. For me, I do Noosa Triathlon every year, which is in November. So I guess it's a bit of a novelty, because I come back from, a short course season, and I've either got 1 week or I've got 8 weeks. It just kind of depends when, World Championships is and when I can get back home, how long I have to get used to my time trial bike. So I definitely feel like I've racked up some experience on it. Yeah. But coming into, I guess, long course racing, I'm on it a lot more, and I obviously care a lot more about, my position and my aerodynamics and
power and all that stuff.
Yeah, because Noosa is always just 40K. So you can kind of get away with things a bit more.
A little bit,
So it's exciting, and it's, I guess, a new opportunity, a new challenge for me.
I love it. And so what will the rest of your season be?
So I think that I've booked my ticket back home in my mind a lot of times since Josh left or wasn't able to come in. But I think now I'll stay after this and go to Tucson and train with Heather Jackson and her partner, Sean Watkins. So I think I'd like to do Oceanside at the start of April.
Perfect.
So
Yes. Yeah, that's my backyard. You'll love it.
yeah, so I'm excited
That's
for that.
some good climbing. You got 3 really good climbs in the back half of that course, and you start, and perfect for you. You start in the ocean,
Yeah.
and then you swim into the harbor. So
Yeah.
there's some waves to deal with,
Yeah.
which if you're an Aussie, you love the waves.
I always like that. Yeah.
Always like that. And then the run it's funny because the times are always fast, but there's some good climbing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting undulating course, so it's totally a fair course.
Yeah, and I think that it's a good one because from what I've seen from past years, it's really competitive. So,
Always.
you know, I could go there and get my ass kicked, or I could do all right. But for me, having that experience racing against those girls that are the best in the world
Yes.
over that half distance, I can kind of walk away from it and plan out my season and
Sort of know
kind
where
of
you're
have
at.
an idea of,
Yeah.
what do I need to work on.
Because obviously the goal will be, 70.3 St. George? The Worlds, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, no.
So while you were doing ITU racing, you jumped in Alcatraz and won it a couple times.
Yeah. I forget the years, but I love Alcatraz. It's one of my favorite races.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I've done Beijing Tri as well.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I've-
Beijing International. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
so
sort
I've
of
done a
sister
few.
event with Alcatraz.
Yeah. So
And you've won that one too.
yeah. So
at you.
it's been cool to be able to do a few of those races.
Sort of non-drafting Olympic.
Yeah.
The bummer is we used to have a whole series, that whole Lifetime
That's what I would love to
Fitness.
do.
That would be perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because you come out of the Olympic format and now you have to go to 70.3.
Yeah. You have no choice.
You have no choice except for some of the class races, but for
Yeah.
the most part, that's where the dollars are. It's going to be in the longer distance.
Yeah. So
But you'll be great at it.
well, yeah, we'll see. It's for me, it's definitely about experience, and I've got my calendar set of races. I'd like to try and do the PTO series, but I have no points, so I don't know how I'm going to qualify. But there's so many opportunities and races that
There are.
I'm just going to go and experience a whole lot and see what happens.
I think that, when you go in Oceanside, all of a sudden you get some points, and the points will just accumulate before you
Yeah.
know it.
We'll see. I don't know how it works, but I'll work it out.
You'll figure it out. Ashleigh, thank you so much for taking time. A pleasure. Give my best to Josh. I miss
will.
him. He's always one of my favorite guys to talk to.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Of course he will.
Yeah.
Love it. Ashleigh Gentle has been our guest. Again, Breakfast with Bob. We are here at beautiful Clash Endurance, Miami. Hold on, everybody. We will be right back.